Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, listeners and viewers out there in Radio Land. We want to say good morning and welcome to this special edition of the program Integrity Watch. I am your host today, Mark W. Bondao. I'm pretty seated tight and willing to kick this program to a place that you will understand and know about the issues that are affecting the citizens in this country and some of the activities of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. Welcome wherever you are. I want to say good morning, Banga, good morning, Salala, good morning, Saklepie, good morning, to the people of Masorado, and all over wherever you are listening to this broadcast. I want to say good morning. Welcome to another fresh edition of the radio program Integrity Watch. Integrity Watch is a 1 hour radio program that is aired every Wednesdays on Truth 96.1 FM. And a repeat of this show is on Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. Integrity Watch, our radio program serves as a primary radio-based and communication and information dissemination platform of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is a key advocacy tool that provides essential information about the state of the fight against corruption and national integrity building efforts, as well as promotes the culture of transparency, accountability, integrity, and evidence-based decision-making across all sectors and institutions of our country. Under this program, under CENTAL's National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program, I always talk about this program that is being implemented by CENTAL that is funded by the government and people of Swedish to do the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDA. This program, it serves as an advocacy, coordination, and engagement platforms to rally citizens and other stakeholders support for the fight against corruption and bad governance in our country. So as part of this of the NIBA program, CENTAL has established the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center. As you may be aware, the National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program that is being funded by the government and people. So to see that there are a lot of activities under that program that has to do with the integrity clubs, the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center, this radio program. But specifically, I will focus on the on ELAC, that's the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center. So what is the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center? It is an independent platform that enables citizens to freely report and seek redress to corruption and other integrity-related issues within our communities, counties, and country at large. So who do we have at ELAC? At ELAC, there's a team of professionals, including lawyers, who are ready and willing to listen and provide the necessary advice per the complaint. So citizens are encouraged to call and freely report to the mediums. But firstly, ELAC is there, but it's not only there. It's not there just to report corruption and integrity too. If you want to know about laws governing anti-graft institutions in our country, like the LACC, the PPCC, the GAC, you can just call them and say, yeah, I want to know about what's unfolding at the LACC as it relates to that status, as it relates to that code of conduct and what have you. I want to know about some of those laws, some of those acts that established them. So can you provide those information to me? And the people are willing and are ready to give you all of the many information that you want. So at ELAC, we encourage citizens to report to the medium, to these mediums rather. So we have the email address, we have the Facebook page, we have the toll-free number. For the email, you can call ALAC. You can email at ALAC, that is ELAC, ALAC at center.org.lr. For the Facebook, it's CENTAL ELAC, that is CENTAL ALAC. And you can also call the 4-digit number. And I always talk about this number. I want to lay emphasis on it. Please, if you are calling that number, be very, very, very polite. Children, if you are listening to this broadcast now, this number, please do not just call this number, because at times the professionals like can always complain that children just call the number just to pray. So please, we're encouraging you. Like I said, we have serious people there. We have a team of professionals, including lawyers. So don't just call the number like that, just to play fun. Not because it is toy free. We're encouraging our well-meaning Liberians, please. So you can call 4432. Both Orange and Lone Star subscribers can call that number. 4432. If you witness an act of corruption, or if you saw somebody that that displayed high level of integrity and you want to spotlight that person, you can also call the number 2. And you also want to know about the laws governing anti-graft institutions in our country, you can also call. You can also walk in. Our office is located on opposite the John F. Kennedy Hospital, 22nd Street, single top block pharmacy. As you may be aware, we're also in partnership with institutions, anti-graft institutions in our country. One of them is the LACC. Also, as you may be aware, that LACC is solely focused on corruption. So they also have hotline numbers. The hotline numbers are 0555 395 728. 0555 395 728. There's a short code. You can call 4048. That's a short code. You can just call that number 4048. And for the Orange, you have 0776 600 050. 0776 600 050. That's the number for the ELAC. So for the LACC, yeah. Thank you. For the LACC, that's the number for the LACC. So we encourage our guests on this platform, to be very civil and informative, with zero tolerance, and for invectives and denigrating comments. We also encourage them to be very succinct, very decorous in their dispositions. Whenever you come and we invite you on this platform, we encourage you to to go to the issues, to speak to the issues. Don't bend, don't go, don't beat around the bush. Hit the nail on its head. So today it's a very interesting edition. The host of this program is a guest. So we're gonna hear a lot of things today as it relates to communication, especially as it relates regarding the National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program that is being supported by the government and people associated to do SIDA. So my own boss, in person of Mr. Zota, he will be here to talk about a wide range of communication issues and what are some of those things that are happening in our in activities of the NIBA program. So he will talk about it quickly. But before we talk to him, or before we usher him in, let us talk about little things that matter. Firstly, let us greet our president. Mr. President, we want to say good morning. Wherever you are in your comfort zone, we want to say I want to say good morning, and I hope that you are doing well. And good morning to our well-meaning listening audience, our Liberians, our patriotic citizens who are always following this platform. I want to say good morning to you. This month, it is believed that it's the fast month of the Muslims. So I want to say that all of those Muslims that they praying to Allah, I pray that Allah answer all of our prayers, especially as it relates to Liberia. Please pray for our country. There are a lot of things that are going on. Please pray for our country. Remember our country in your prayers. May Allah answer all of your prayers. So there are some things that have been going on, in our country of recent that have been trending. But firstly, I want to talk to the president. Mr. President, thank you so very much for the Invincible Park. It's laudable. It's something that we appreciate you for. It's a beautiful place, for the Liberian people. Thank you so very much. What a kind gesture from you. But my concern is on to the maintenance aspect of that park. The maintenance aspect of that park. In time past or in yesteryears, we So things were not maintained. Let's talk about the street lights. The street lights are on the pole. We saw them. The traffic. Yeah, let's talk about the traffic light first. The traffic lights. When the traffic lights, came into being, everybody was adhering to the rules. Stop. You see the red light, you stop. You see the green light, you go. The yellow light, wait a little bit, and things like that. But now we are not seeing them anymore. I don't know what's happening to it. Who's maintaining them? Who's maintaining them? It's down. Now to talk about some of these those government agencies. We have beautiful building. And my prayer is that the ministerial complex be well taken care of. We don't want the ministerial complex to go in rooms. This is my fear. We have a lot of innovations, but to maintain those innovations is something that we should really be work on ourselves, Mr. President. I hope that you have strong measures in place as it relates to maintenance of that park. And not only that park alone, but other places. So it is my prayer that you put into place good mechanism as it relates to the maintenance aspect of that park. Mr. President, there are a lot of things that are going on, and I know that you are counting them gradually. We laud you for the actions that you took on the director. That's the National Bureau of Concession. It's something that we laud you for it. People should not step out of their scope of operation. Where you are operating, if you are operating as a director, do not go above your operation. Remain in the confine of your operation. Do not go above. It's something that many times, like for the traffic section, people will say that everybody's in the queue, trying to go rush to work. But because this guy feels that he's a government official, he wants to bypass and take the other lane, and he goes scot-free. And those are that guy in the traffic. Oh yeah, that man a big man. Let the man go to work quickly. If you want to go to work, you wake up very early and go to your place of work. Nobody should disobey the law. We should be people that should respect the law. Irrespective of who you are not above the law. Mr. President, I hope you are taking into consideration those things that are happening as it relates to our diplomats. The outbursts of diplomats and partners, especially concerning governance, transparency, and accountability, is something that you should look at. Earlier this year, we saw many people talking about, especially the United States government, talk about the need for transparency and accountability in our country. Diana Banks, Gregory Meeks, Ambassador McCarthy, all of those people, they are from the U.S. They are concerned about those things that are unfolding in our country as it relates to transparency and accountability. It's something that you should look at. Mr. President, diplomats are not people who usually go on public, issues, but when such things happen, it sends a very, very negative impression about your leadership in the country at large. Your Excellency, I know that you are listening. If you're not listening, people that are closer to you are listening. We love this country. That's why we will always talk about things that are happening. It's very important that you make harsh decisions, irrespective of who the president is at to you in terms of family. Your country, Liberia, should come first. It's something that you need to do. It's something that you need to do. This is something that you need to do, Mr. President. Like during the course of 2 weeks ago, we had issues concerning as it relates to let's say the ministry involved. That's religious. The Liberian Institute for Statistics and Geoinformation Services. We saw what has been transparent there. The Liberian people are still looking up to you. They are still looking up to you for those actions that you will take. I'm still looking up to you, Mr. President. You need to do something about it. It's something that you need to do about it. Before I usher the guests in, let me just talk about this thing that is so concerning. It's something that we still need to work on. This thing has been going on back of ages. Obtaining obtaining public documents or national documents. Let's talk about the driver's license. We've sung this song over and over. It's still happening, Mr. President. Those in authority at the Ministry of Transport, at the health certificate section, at the passport section, those in authority at those various institutions, please. There should be serious monitoring and evaluation that should be carried out at those institutions. For example, the Ministry of Transport, if you want to obtain a driver's license and you are new to the system, I think a chauffeur's license is about 45. If you want to obtain it, and you don't know the price, and you just go straight to the ministry, you pay more than what you didn't expect. Instead of you paying for the fast one, the guys who call themselves expediters, you pay more than that. Perhaps you might be paying around $75. And they will just come to you, number, you'll get confused. Why are they doing all around the ministry? Why are they doing that? And some of them can be in jacket. It's something that we need to work on. It's something that we need to work on. Those in authorities, please. At those various institutions, please. It's something that we really need to work on as a country. If we want to fight corruption, we have to stand our ground. We have to be people of transparency. We have to practice integrity to the code. There's a saying that we also say at the Integrity Club, at the federal campuses. Integrity is doing the right thing at the right time, even when no one is watching. If our country will excel, it starts with ourselves. We must do all in our power to make our country to go where we want to go. We want it to go. So we will take a break right now and usher our guests in. Let's just take a break and usher our guests in. If you are viewing us on Facebook, we want to say thank you for following. Let's just take a break. Okay. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, viewers. In Radio Land, want to say welcome back. Those are viewing us on Facebook. We want to say thank you for following. Welcome back. Okay, the program that you are in tune to is Integrity Watch. It's a 1 hour program that is being aired by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It's aired on Truth 96.1 FM. let's welcome our guest. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I call you good morning, boss man.
Good morning, Mark, and it's good to be on the radio and having you as my host this morning. I feel so elated and I feel excited to be with you, and I hope to have a better, like usual, to have a very frank and fruitful discussion with you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. That is the voice of Mr. Sam Zota Jr.
Thank
He's
you.
the media and communication officer of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. So if you are following us, you can just drop your comments. We have people that are following us. Now we have William Singwei, who says he's following from CENTAL's office. We have Samuel P. following from the data processing office. Thank you for following. People that are viewing, thank you so much for viewing. Let's get the ball rolling quickly. So, Mr. Zota, how you been doing?
I mean, it has all been okay. Thank God we left the country and went out, of course, for training purposes, and we were able to gain additional knowledge, and we've come to contribute our quota to the development and the growth of our country in different ways. Of course, as communicators, we find ourselves in a place where we are amplifying the voices of the voiceless, and that's what we've yearned for, and we opted for that, and that is what we are doing, and we're doing it with passion. So I think on the overall, everything is okay, and we are doing well.
Did you just say you flew out of the country and you're back? No wonder why you look more fresher.
Thank you. Yes, Mark. All right. Let me just give a brief information about that. So we we are part of a church, and fortunately for us, we were elected and asked to serve on the leadership of the church. So I have been asked to serve as financial officer of the mission center, both Liberia and Sierra Leone. So, as part of that responsibility, it was necessary that we go to gain additional knowledge in financial, reporting, accountability, and how to be able to with new softwares in financial reporting. So we were able to go through, the training and to be very good stewards. So we were able to go to Lusaka, and we were able to undergo the training, and we came back to Liberia and back in Center's office ready to, contribute and do our communication work.
It has added a lot of things to your niche,
Yeah,
especially for the communication side.
yeah, sure,
Yes, and
certainly.
I hope to gain some of those knowledge.
And before just with that, I just want to say thank you because at Central, what we do, we build capacities. So what we have been able to do over the year, I feel proud. I sit in this seat and I feel that I have achieved something that I met you at Central, and with the level of collaboration we've had over the time, and you have been able to sit, learn, and now you can sit in this particular capacity and do even better than I do. I mean, I
Oh
feel so
wow!
proud of that. I followed you when I was away. I followed all of the editions, and when I came back, I gave you the feedback. I said, I think you've been doing well, and thank you ever so much. I want to appreciate you. I want to thank the management of Central for the level of flexibility they provide, so that everybody can grow. So we want to, that's how it should be in professional environments. Open up so that people can grow and create the avenue so that people can, feel their full to explore their full potentials. That's what we do at Central. So thank you so much. And one day we'll have Geraldine sitting behind his microphone and doing similarly as you are doing, and other colleagues who are interested in becoming communicators, they too can come, and we can be able to mentor and train them so that they can be, as you have, grown to be, and you keep growing to be. Thank you ever so much for that.
Thank you ever so much for the training. It's important that you humble yourself. Whenever you want to learn something as a person, it's important you humble yourself and you look keenly, watch a person keenly, and someday soon you'll be in a person's place. And that's just what I've been doing over the years. I want to say thank you so much, Mrs. Sota, for the opportunity given. So let's talk about what has been happening in Central. as it relates to the communication aspect.
All right. So like I initially said in the introduction, our role is to amplify,
Okay.
to bring to light, to to share light on things that are happening behind the scene. So over the time, like your introduction said, the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia is implementing a 3.5 year project. So that project seeks to empower citizens with relevant pieces of information to demand for and take action against corruption in Liberia. So to do that, we've been engaging all sectors of the country. So we've had different activities to be able to achieve that goal. So the Integrity Club is one of the activity which we have at high school, different universities and university students going to high schools. We have the National Integrity Forum, bringing together different integrity institutions and civil society organizations to work together. We have the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center, creating mechanism for people to report confidentially, though, to report issues about corruption. We have the now we have the civil society, joint civil society initiative, that we're trying to build this partnership with civil society organizations, bringing CBOs, civil society, national civil society organizations together under one umbrella so that they can be able to increase advocacy efforts, so that all of us can do this together, because we understand that we cannot do this together. So in one of these, they will have this radio program to sensitize the public about what's happening about what's happening. How can we all join the responsibility is to ensure that the visibility of CENTAL is beyond margin. So we have, by the grace of God, over the time, since our ascendancy to the position of communications officer at CENTAL, we've been able to work as a team to raise CENTAL to a position that it's recognized across Liberia and beyond as one of the best and influential civil society organizations in Liberia. We've been able to brand CENTAL as that anybody, as soon as they hear the name of a center, they know what sector it belongs. We've been able to engage the people, go to the lower level, bring the voices of the people up, so that people who have been marginalized, who've been left behind, so their voices can be elevated. We've done that successfully over the period through the different engagements we've had. Be it if it's about the monitoring visits, if it's about the open expenditure forum, if it's about our community engagement, if it's about our high school engagements, and all of these activities, we've brought them to light so that people see what's happening at Center. So I think the media and communication arm for Center, we've been able to do that successfully with the team. I mean, I'm so proud of this team that I've been able to, coordinate over the period, and I've been coordinating. I'm so proud of us, and I know that we can do better. And with the kind of, unity we find ourselves, amongst ourselves, we can do better. So we are doing it, and we are moving to a point where we want to go is to see Central as um, to the point that Centaur can become, maybe we can manage grant of $1 billion. We can do that. That is the capacity that we're branding the organization into right now, so that it can be one of, whether it can become grant or donor organization. Maybe that's how we have been seen now. We of course we are not donor organization, but because of the way in which we've branded ourselves and positioned ourselves in society right now, people consider Center as a donor organization. Yes, we don't blame them. That is it. That's what we want to do. That's why we want to go. So that is the kind of work we've done, and with not leaving out the community people, not leaving out the public sector, the integrity institutions that have been working with us, not leaving out the high schools, that we've been working with the universities, the administration of the universities, who have been very cooperative and been working along with us. So all of these people working together, we've scored the success or these successes that we have on our shop today.
Great. To whom much is given, much is expected. People are saying that they are perceiving that CENTAL, is a donor organization, which of course it's not. But when you are given something, I tell you, the fight against corruption, it involves everyone. So when you are empowered to do something, it's better that you empower the little person that is there. Collectively, that particular goal will be achieved. So I think that is a route CENTAL is on. So CENTAL has been empowered to do a piece of job, and they saw the necessity that they should empower other civil society actors that will be on that will have that same mindset to make whatever goal to be accomplished. And I think that's it, the route CENTAL is on. So for I don't for the communication aspect, it's important, like I just talked about, reaching out to other people, right? Are you like partnering with all the communication people to ready? Yeah. So do you care to
Yeah,
talk about that
so
quickly?
to do this, we like we said, we cannot do it alone, and the fight against corruption, it cannot be won by a single institution. So as part of the effort to help boost the work that we do as a unit or as a department at the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, we've been able to reach out to different, we recruited individual and institutional journalists. So we have this network of journalists who have been trained and to go after investigating corruption and integrity related stories. So the network have been established. It was established in 2020. So on a rotational basis, we provide many support to individuals. So individuals will have to pitch in their story ideas, and then the story ideas are vectored, and then fundings are provided to those story ideas that will emerge, to be strong enough to go after. Because we have limited resources, we cannot fund all of the story ideas that come in. So rotationally, we do it. We provide full support, four at a time. So for this time, we're providing full support to four individuals to go to do investigation. We've already started that. This week, we are expecting to have the inflow of information coming from these reporters who've been in the field gathering stories on corruption, whether it is a land issue, it is land right, it is governance, accountability issues. We're trying to get information on that. We also we have partnership with different media institutions like Truth FM.
Okay.
We have this radio program on Truth FM. There's a partnership we have with Truth FM so that we can air this radio program. We also have partnership with Prime FM. Prime FM and ECOWAS Radio. ECOWAS Radio, we have a live broadcast on ECOWAS Radio on Thursday, and it's relayed on Prime FM. So all of these things are intended to spread the message so that we too can be able to extend with the little partnership we have with this institution is a form of empowerment to the media institution as well. So the mini grant we provide to the journalists, these are all forms of empowering the journalists because as a media practitioner, I've been a journalist. I've been a mainstream journalist in Liberia for several years. I started as corp reporter and I excelled to the position of editor before leaving. So I understand what it means to be a reporter in Liberia. Media institutions will not have the resources to give to the reporters to go after, especially investigative stories. So investigative stories, most of the time, it delays. So what the media institution will be looking for will be stories that are involving story, catching stories.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they will want. So for you to be able to do that as a reporter, there must be extra support that can enable you to go maybe covering your transportation, covering the communication and other things that you can be able to to go after those stories. So that is what we are doing to see how we can empower those individual journalists to go out to do these stories. We did that, and we were able to come up with good stories from last edition, and this edition we are anticipating all of those stories to come. Because those people who were vetted and qualified, we know them, and we follow their track record. We know how potent they are, and then we also have the jingles. So the jingles, until a few months ago, we suspended the area of the jingle because, like I said, limited budgetary allocation. Because we have to redirect funding and see how we can be able to spread it across to help media institutions as part of the partnership we have with them. So we have the jingles with it translated in different vernaculars. We have it in Bele, in Pele, in Bassa, in Kio, in Mano. So we send these jingles across the 7 project targeted counties. So the National Integrity Building Anti-Corruption Program is being implemented in 7 counties. So these 7 counties, we send these jingles there, and we'll be able to, it is all part of the awareness and sensitization effort to inform people about how we do this. So we also have the different video skits. So these skits send out information about transparency and integrity building. So it's dramatized so people can see and visualize what it means, how corruption manifests in different sectors, whether it is in the police, whether it's in the educational sector, whether it is in the in the health sector, whether it's whatever in the land sector, whether it is about sextortion, all of these things. We have all of these different jingles, and then we've been able to play that. So I mean, we are just make engaging like octopus. We're spreading our tentacles across the different sectors to make sure that everyone comes on board, so that we do this together, because we cannot, and nobody should fool you that the war against corruption is going to be won by the government of Liberia alone, or the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia alone. It cannot be, unless you out there join this effort and realize that we all have a part to play, and then we can begin to play our part bit by bit. That's the only way we can be able to do that. And it's not going to be immediate. We are aware. We are aware that it's not going to be immediate, but with sensitization, like I always said when I'm doing presentations, the construction of all of these big structure that you see, all of the different architectural designs or structure that you see, the architectural, the designs and everything begins from the mind. So if the mind can conceive it and bring it on paper, and from the paper it becomes a structure, it means that the mind can do anything that it is willing to do. So with more education, with more sensitization, with continuous talking about how the need for us to live with integrity, people will start to disabuse their minds about corruption being an age-old problem. Yes, it has, but it doesn't mean that because it existed, so it cannot be eliminated. It can be, but with your minds, we can all do this together. That is the reason why we are engaging every sector and leaving no one behind, in keeping with the sustainable development, the SDGs, so that all of us can do this together, including people with disabilities, the women, the youth, the marketers, the government officials, the private sector, and all of us can do this together.
Thank you so very much. Collaboration. Everything that he just said boils down to collaboration. A famous uh, inspirator say that if you want to go faster, you go alone. But if you want to go further, go together. So if we can bring everybody on board gradually, corruption will reduce at an appreciable level. Like I always say that it takes the collective efforts of every one of us. If every one of us can disabuse our minds that corruption can be eradicated, corruption can reduce appreciably, it means that we are getting somewhere. And another thing is that when we put ourselves into the culture, into that entrenched culture of entirety, transparency, and accountability, in 10 years from now, this country will be on a different pace of development. This is what we want our children to be. This is how we want our country to go. But before we open the lines, let me just ask it's obvious that there are challenges, there are successes. So first, let's just talk about some of those challenges, and then we'll talk about the successes.
Well, I mean, in everything, and dealing with human beings,
Yeah.
you will always have challenges. Sometimes these are normal phenomena. It happens, so we expect them to always happen. But some of them will be maybe, like for me, I worked in the media and I left. I was able to work in different sectors. So reporting and then responding, doing things in trying to respond and reporting becomes something that you have to do as part of your deliverables. You have to deliver on issues. You have to work and report every time you do something. You have to report on those things that you do. But it becomes a challenge for some of our colleagues because if perhaps you send information to somebody and you need them to respond to that, you send a project or you send a contract to somebody and you need them to respond to that, and you call the person and say, "Oh, I send you an email." Yes, oh, I will see that I've seen the email, and then but to respond to that email becomes a challenge. Sometimes it will take you, and then you have to meet target.
Yeah.
So I'm working. I have the week is ending, and I need to report on what I have done for that week. So if I send you an email and say I'll call you and say, "I'll call you, my man, I sent you an email." You say, "Okay, yeah, I've seen the email." But then what have you done? Have you responded to the email? I will respond to the email. The next day I call you, you tell me I will respond to the email. I mean, I need your response so that I can be able to move ahead. So I mean, it becomes a challenge. But I mean, we are coping. We are gradually, like the people we are working with, they are understanding that we have to do this together. So we have to keep pushing and keep pushing. We try to overcome that challenge. And another challenge has been when we overcoming. It has been the issue about like we talk about funds because
Limited fund.
they are limited budgetary allocation because there are a lot of media institutions in Liberia. So I'm a media practitioner. So if I'm giving contract to one institution, the other institution is telling me that I'm a man, it means that you are being selected. Because the envelope is small. The envelope cannot include everybody at a time. So we have to do it in a way that we either do it rotational or we have to be very robust in selecting a particular sector, but then the others will feel that, oh, you are trying to avoid or trying to leave them out of the not giving them support. So it became a challenge, but we've been talking about it, and we are being able to overcome those challenges. And there are a few other challenges that we are overcoming. And then, but there are successes that we scored.
Yeah.
There have been successes that we scored. We've been able to empower the institutions that we work with. We've been able to empower them for provide the community radio stations. We've been able to provide them money at least that could buy fuel to operate for a particular period of time. Because some of the institutions that we work with, you understand that you go there, they've been out of out of fuel to operate, but these little things that we've been able to send to them from one point to another, we've been able to help them. We've been able to go into communities and engage with people and make to the point that CENTAL has now become like an international NGO. Yes, so that's how CENTAL is a national NGO, but CENTAL has been branded to the extent that it has been seen as an international NGO. Yes, that is what we can take credit for as a team, because we've done this, we pushed it, and we've been able to succeed on this. and we can even we are even going beyond. We are anticipating for additional, because at first CENTAL moved to people to ask for partnership for grant, but now people troop to us to ask for partnership. International organizations come to us
Perhaps
to
maybe
ask,
it's because of the affiliation with
because
Transparency International.
of course, but it's also because of the team that's on ground right
Exactly.
now. Because if they were not people who are very meticulous in what they do and how they do what they do, people would not reach out to them. If there were people who were just extravagant in spending donor money, not careful on how they spend donor money, donors will not reach out to them to tell them, say, we want to give you money. That wouldn't have happened.
Let me just hold you there let me just hold you there, and before you end your segment, let me just hold you there and open the lines quickly. The numbers, I'm going to drop the numbers. If you are following us on Facebook, just drop the numbers there quickly. You can just call 0770 175162, 0770 5162. I repeat, 0770 175162, or you can also call Loonstad on 086 474560. 086 474560. If you are following us live on Facebook, Integrated TV, the numbers today, you can just call that number to participate in the discussion. Perhaps you want to recommend that can the media be left out of the fight against corruption? Does communication plays a key role in the fight against corruption? What are your thoughts? What can you recommend to CENTAL that will improve them, that and they will beef up the fight against corruption? What are your recommendations? So you can put in your calls to 0770 175162, 0770 175162, or 086 474560. You can just put in your calls and let's hear you out this wonderful and pleasant Wednesday morning. So your inspiration when I just caught you, if you're talking about how people now are taking CENTAL to be
because of the leadership at CENTAL, the way in which they conduct themselves and the way in which they guard against the usage of donor money. These are things that we preach this because we have to live by what we say. You cannot preach something and don't live by what you preach. So to do that, we've been able to do that very, very, very robustly over the period. That is the reason why people can gain donor trusts so that they can be able to give $1.7 million to you to manage over 3.5 years. That is the reason why other donor organizations are coming over to tell CENTAL, say, we want you to implement this project for us. We want to collaborate with you for us to implement these projects. These are things that happen when people are that is why when we sit on this radio and we speak out in the public, we always conscientize our public officials and those who find themselves in leadership to be very serious about what they say. Because whatever you say, you should live by what you say. This will gain people trust in you, and people can reach out to you. Sometimes the way you behave can make people to come over to you and ask you.
All right. Let me just hold you then take this call. Hello, caller. Your name and where you calling from? This is Integrity Watch. Hello, caller.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, I'm also be thankful to your program and the discussion as well.
Okay.
I have a concern.
Okay.
And this concern has to do with government projects like road construction or necessary infrastructure. Is it possible that you, as this sort of NGO that is interested in the right thing being done,
okay,
that as contract is signed with an institution, maybe foreign or local, that you have an engineer within your institution who will be able to look at the specification, the quality of work that is expected, and so that you all can work together to make sure that these NGOs are doing the right thing and they are performing effectively.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Just keep listening. Keep listening. Thank you for calling. You want to throw a light on that?
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you. What we do because every institution or organization has its own niche. So our own area of work is governance and accountability. So for us, we are not engineers, so we will not pretend to be engineers. But there are qualified engineers. The Ministry of Public Works has those engineers. So they have roles to play in ensuring that contracts that are awarded meet the given specifications. So, and before funds are released to these implementers or organizations or contractors that are implementing project on behalf of government, the engineer is supposed to go for verification.
I think that should be a bidding process. And
that means we've gone through the bidding process. Okay. They have presented the specification. They've met the requirements to go to implement the project. So before funds are disbursed, there should be engineers to do inspection to verify that this project has reached the required as specified in the contract. That is the reason why for a monitor those who are responsible to tell them that you need to do it in this way, you need to do it in this other way. And we engage these sectors from different aspects so that they can be aware, because the way we do our work through the National Integrity Forum and other engagements that we have one-on-one, whether it's through the forums that we have, we create the awareness about what the law says about the awarding of contracts, what the law says about the completion of contract, the disbursement of cash to institutions that implement. So, I mean, we are not engineers, but we work with these institutions, and then we tell them our role is to bring out these things that need to be done, and we empower the citizens with the information that are needed so that they can be able to ask those questions.
All right. Let's just have a question quickly from one of our followers that says, what are some of the things or actions you observe from your international trip, or while on your international trip outside Liberia, that we can adopt to the fight against corruption in our country? Because you just came back from Lucas, as you said. What are some of those things?
Right. Yeah. So I think when I was in, because I work.
We'll just take that and take your parting comment because we're out of time.
I work in an integrity institution, and when I left the country and I went out, I went to Kenya some years ago, and that was my visit back to Kenya. I made a stop in Kenya.
Okay.
What I saw then and what I saw now, they are quite different. And I went to Zambia. During the training, there were 7 different African countries that came together. People from different African countries came together, leaders that came together. So I kept engaging my colleagues and asking them about governance and accountability issues in their countries. And what I learned, there are concrete and tangible efforts being made by governments in these different African countries. The issue about corruption is like an African story. Every country in Africa is experiencing the issue about corruption. But there are countries that are making earnest efforts to address those things. Ministers have been dismissed, like in Malawi, ministers have been dismissed. In Zambia, ministers have been dismissed. Funds confiscated from past government officials, they've used those money to sponsor 10 medical students to go for medical training. I mean, these are things that we were able to gather in. Even in Zimbabwe and other places, people are making honest effort. So I mean, these are things that we learned, we were able to gather from our colleagues, and I posted that on my Facebook page and share the information, and we pushed our government can make those honest efforts. When people are accused of corruption, let them find their days in court. There should not be any sign of selection in the fight against corruption. When people are accused of crime, let them face the law collectively. The same way John will face the law, let Paul face the law the same way, let Mary face the law the same way, and there should not be any sign of selection, or should not be any sign of power up on behalf of people who commit corruption in the country. So I mean, these are things that we were able to see and we heard from our colleagues who came together. And I mean, we hope that our government can listen and see these things happening in other countries. Neighboring Sierra Leone, they are making, corruption is there, but they are making earnest effort to address the issue of corruption.
Let's
not
get
only about singing a song about we are committed, and not seeing the action. We need action in our words.
We need action in our words. Thank you so very, very much. That was the voice of the media and communication officer at the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, Mr. Sam Zota Jr. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you here. So thanks to all of our followers that have been following us, that's been listening to us on Facebook. We want to say thank you so very much to you that have been following us. And to you on Facebook, Integrity TV, thank you so very much for following us, rather. So the repeat for this show comes on Sunday, 7 to 8. It's coming Sunday, so please tune in and listen to the repeat. All right, so thank you so very, very, very much for following. Till then, I see you next time. Thank you so much for following.